subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. This story is written by Sanjay Campbell. Have you ever seen a ghost? Or had some scary experience? No one can truly express in words such terrifying and shocking incidents that they have experienced. But such incidents can change your whole life. The place where we experience this creates a strange fear in our minds. I am going to narrate one such similar experience. It's 11 in the night. I am sitting in my room. Few days back, the window glass got broken by kids playing cricket outside. Through the broken window, I can experience the darkness outside. Lights in the room are turned off. The mobile is charging on silent mode, and I'm going to share my experience with you. Some may believe it, and some may laugh at me. There are many people like me who complete their study along with their work. Even I used to work part-time. I attended college in the day and drove the auto rickshaw of neighbor uncle. The earning was somewhat okay. As the money depended on the amount of time that I worked, the work time could not be estimated. I used to keep the study material with me to read it in free time. But that experience completely changed my life. 2 years ago, it was the month of August. That day, it was pouring like anything since morning. Like every day, I was traveling to the college on my cycle. There was no sign of the rains reducing, and the bicycle chain came off. I got late in reaching college. Sir asked me to stay outside the class until my next lecture. I didn't like what he said, but I had no other option. I even had a fight with my girlfriend as I didn't wish her at 12 in the night on her birthday, so she got angry and left. Even my friends were upset with me as we had planned to go out, and I forgot. There was something wrong with the day. I didn't know what else was coming my way. Saying this, I left. Don't they say, no one can fight fate? I had decided not to get in trouble with anyone and reached home. Since it was already night, it was time to go on duty. I kept the mobile for charging, finished the food served by Mother, and was waiting for Uncle to come. As he didn't come for a long time, I freshened up and went to his house. Uncle kept the keys in my hand and said, "Sanju, it's raining heavily today. Drive safely." "Yes, Uncle." I drove to the rickshaw stand. There was no sign of the rains reducing, and even people were very few. It was around 11:30 in the night, and I didn't even have one customer. Due to the day's incidents, I had no mood to study. I started listening to Kishore Kumar Sahab's songs in a low volume. Then, I heard a muffled voice. When I peeped out, it was a man outside a closed shop on the opposite side of the road, waving at me. I started the auto and went to him. He was around 55 years, wearing a white shirt and carrying an umbrella. As I reached, he immediately got into the auto and said, "MIDC Junction." I started driving to the destination. While wiping the wet mirror, I said, "The rains are pouring like anything. Seems like the Panchatantra will flood." He replied with a, I said to myself, "What a boring man." And I started driving by, increasing the volume of songs. After some time, I realized that the man was continuously staring at me. I smiled back at him in the mirror, but the expressions on his face didn't change. He kept on staring at me. Leaving behind the city, now we had reached the highway. There was less traffic as compared to other days. Crossing the highway, as we reached the other end of the bridge, there were two people pushing a motorcycle. One of them waved at me. Smilingly, I said to the passenger, "I think their motorcycle isn't working. That's why they are pushing it. It's not a good thing to push a bike at this time in such rains." The passenger didn't respond to this, but kept on staring at me as if he hadn't seen a human being. I took the rickshaw towards the person who had waved. They turned out to be my friends. Looking out, I said, "What happened, Vinod?" Glad on seeing me, Vinod said, "Thank God you met us. We were returning after the 9:12 show, and the bike ran out of petrol." I replied, "This happens every time with you. Wait, let me give you some petrol. But where is your phone? Your girlfriend had called. It seems you didn't wish her on her birthday," said Vinod. Hearing this, I was shocked. I won't be spared tomorrow in college. I've forgotten the phone at home, that too in silent mode. Before I could say anything, he asked, "Where are you going alone? Are you picking up someone?" "Alone? There is a passenger," I replied. But there was no one in the back seat. I came out and looked around, but he was nowhere. I replied, "Seems like he ran off. I had just now said to him that let's help these guys." Vinod was left dumbfounded and said, "But I was seeing your rickshaw from a long distance. I didn't see anyone getting off." I was really angry. All this while I was talking to that person. Where did he go suddenly? It seems he escaped to avoid paying the fare. I gave some petrol to Vinod and went away talking to myself. After some distance, I saw a couple on the highway bus stop. I stopped the rickshaw near them, but they had to go little far. I started the meter and we went off. It was almost 1:30 in the night. It was a long time before we reached their destination. As I observed them, both of them were busy in talking. Wondering if they had also escaped, I turned around and checked. After some time, a person was visible standing in the front. As I took the rickshaw towards him, I really lost my temper. I recognized him and said in anger, "Oh, uncle! Oh, uncle! You ran away from the rickshaw! Give me my money!" The passengers sitting in the rickshaw got scared, but I narrated them the entire incident, and they started asking the uncle to pay the money. "Oh, uncle! Pay me the money! Haven't you seen a human being before?" Hearing my words, there was no change in his expression, and he said in a calm voice, "You want money? I'll give it. Son, my house is at nearby. Drop me there and I will give you the money." Seeing his sad face, I and the other passengers agreed. I started driving to his home while checking on him in the mirror in case he escapes again. But even now, he kept on staring at me. He asked me to stop the rickshaw at some distance after crossing the bridge. As I stopped the rickshaw and looked around, there was no house, no village around. For miles it was pitch dark and complete silence. I said, "No problem, uncle, if you don't have all the money. You sit. I will take you to the village." Even the passengers sitting inside said, "Uncle, we will pay for your fare. but don't get down at this deserted place." But Uncle didn't listen to anyone. He got down from the rickshaw, and while taking out the money, a 10-rupee note fell from his pocket. When he bent down to pick it up, I said, "Wait, Uncle, I'll get it," and bent down. After what I saw, it felt like my heartbeat stopped. Due to fear, my forehead was full of sweat. It was as if my heart was going to burst due to fear. Without wasting any time, I immediately started the rickshaw and drove it faster. The passenger said, "What happened? For so long you were fighting for money, and now you left without taking it. At least you should have taken your money." Looking back at them in the mirror, I said, "Don't look back. Let us go away from here, and I will explain everything to you." The passenger said, "But what happened? Why are you so scared?" Nothing, I replied, trying to hide my fear. Both of them felt my behavior to be strange. I asked them, "Has there been an accident on this road recently?" Interrupting me, the lady passenger said, "Hey, isn't this the same uncle who had got down behind? How did he get here so quick?" As I looked from the rickshaw windshield, it was a terrifying sight. My hands and legs started shivering. My heartbeats were pacing. I said to the passengers, "Madam, please don't be scared. Sir, you please close her eyes. None of you look at him. Just start praying to God. Only He can save us now from this trouble." Saying this, I raced the rickshaw. Although I was boosting the passengers, only I knew how scared I felt from within. The person was constantly waving from the road. I felt completely shattered. Still, I tried to look at him through the corner of my eyes, but no one could look at that scary and frightening face. Looking at him, one could only wonder how many vehicles had passed over his body. He was repeatedly coming in front and saying, "Wait! Wait! Wait! Take your money! Wait! Take your money!" I had never ever even thought of such a terrifying experience. Even the passengers were frightened. Both the husband and wife were sitting with closed eyes. My mind had stopped working, and my entire body was shivering. I was just driving the rickshaw at the speed of wind. Suddenly, a white figure appeared in front and disappeared. Now my heart seemed like it had stopped beating. As my eyes noticed the passengers in the back seat, the couple was still sitting with their eyes closed, and beside them was a white figure, which disappeared in some time. This hide-and-seek continued for some time, and then it disappeared. I was driving the rickshaw very fast, and we left the highway only to approach the village crematorium. Suddenly, his shrill voice started coming from behind. "That's a mistake. You are doing a big mistake." I was terrified hearing this. Slowly, the white figure faded away. Looking back in the mirror, I said, "Madam, now there is no need to be scared. That was the boundary he couldn't cross." She was terribly scared, and not even ready to open her eyes. Her husband said, "Listen, he has left. We will reach our village in 5 minutes." As we saw the light poles in the village, we became slightly relaxed, and he said to me, "Accidents keep on happening there. 2 people died there just the day before. But why did you ask this?" I looked down at him in the mirror and said, as I bent down to pick up Uncle's fallen notes, I saw his twisted feet full of blood, and we dashed off. You saw Uncle's feet, but did not see ours. And my rickshaw banged against an iron pole. And I noticed the digital board put up in the village. On the digital board was a photograph of the same couple who were my passengers. Below the photo, it was written, "Accidental death of our best friend and his wife. Our deep condolences." And I fainted. When I became conscious, I was in the hospital. The doctor was operating someone near me. As I can't look at someone being operated, I immediately came out. My family and friends were right there. Before I could say anything to them, 2 ward boys took a girl's badly injured dead body inside. Maybe she had met with an accident. Her body was badly damaged. Right then, a girl identical to her, badly injured, came towards me. She was staring at me in anger. I had recognized her. Maybe it was her twin sister or relative that the ward boys had carried in. She went inside, staring at me with eyes red with anger, and then I noticed the board outside the room. Reading the board, my mind became numb. It was all beyond my understanding. I rushed into the room and saw something that shook me completely and left me dizzy. That wasn't an ongoing operation, but a post-mortem. That too, of my own body. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. If you liked our story, share with your friends and follow us on Instagram and Facebook pages.